New Jersey beaches are vital to the economies of the state and to local communities, as well as private enterprise. To what degree do you think, Governor Kean, could that be threatened by climate change?
It's threatened by climate change, by overdevelopment, by a number of areas. But what and it hits us psychologically. We're defined by the shore in New Jersey. Everybody is within reach of the shore and goes there when they can. And something that hurts the shore hurts the state.
In your opinion, Governor Florio, could the shore continue to be threatened by the effects of climate change?
The answer is yes. I mean, as the sea level rises, the beach replenishment program lives on support from the federal government, and with the federal government retrenching in so many areas, it's not going to be easy for people from Iowa to be supporting New Jersey beach replenishment on a regular basis as they have in the past.
Is that threat different now than it was during your time in office?
Well, everyone knows that climate change is getting not better, it's getting worse. So to the degree that that's a problem, which it is, that means things are deteriorating fairly dramatically.
During your time in office as well, Governor Kean?
The Coastal Protection Act also was, I sponsored the bill in the legislature, and it was very advanced for its time, but that was the late 70s. And there were legislators from South Jersey on a bipartisan basis who carved out pieces of it to protect it. The only way we get it through was to make some compromises. So it was not the ideal act, and it certainly is not right for the time we live in now.
History tells us that overcrowding has certainly contributed to the shore's problems. Do you think residents of this state now understand better the hazards of rapid development in our coastal communities?
I think we understand the problems associated with overdevelopment on the ocean, but taking the measures necessary to cope with the overdevelopment is not an easy thing to do. The idea of just having your home washed away focuses your attention, but there are other things in terms of nutrients, herbicides, pesticides, work its way into the water and contaminating water. That's less well understood.
From your experience, Governor Kean, can you explain to us the financial responsibility in terms of shore protection and maintenance among the state, the federal, and local governments?
Well, the state, I believe, should have the primary responsibility because we know more. But to get things done by this, I remember lobbying mayor by mayor by mayor by mayor all the way up and down the shore because you really had to get their support before you get anything done from the legislature. And some of the mayors are enlightened and understand that proper protection is going to help their towns in the future. Others aren't because they got some special interest in town that's lobbying against it. So it's very, very hard to do. The federal government help in some ways, and maybe there'll be a law someday, but to me it's basically on the state. And the state can't get it done unless you can get the local mayors to go along.
Did Superstorm Sandy teach us anything about coastal responsibility, or are we just putting pretty much everything back to where it was?
Well, it obviously focused attention on the issue, and for a relatively short period of time, everyone was cooperating because it was just such a horrendous situation. But as with human nature, as the time goes by, we become a little bit less vigilant, and that's a problem.
How do you see the future?
Well, what's good now is that we know what to do. I mean, scientifically, we know that you've got to get the dunes and preserve the dunes. You've got to preserve the dune grass. You've got to have zoning so that you can't build in sensitive areas. And if you do that, long run, the state is going to be able to preserve its beaches as well as we can in the face of global warming.
Sea level rise is not going to be held in abeyance. That's going to occur. And at some point, we've got to start thinking about moving people back further. The constant replenishing of the sand is not going to be the long-term answer.
How do you convince people to move back from the ocean with the views that they love and the beaches they want to be on?
When flood insurance becomes outrageously expensive, people will start thinking about it a little bit more. But it's not going to be easy, you're right.
Thank you very much, Governor Kean and Governor Florio, for your views.